we move on to the next chaupai, 26th. संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे। Hanumanji helps overcome all difficulties of those who worship him sincerely with thoughts, action, words, and prayers, meditation. Man, mind, krama, karma, deed, vachana, words. So all our thoughts, words and actions should be worship of the Lord. Then no actions will bind us or cause any sorrow. About thoughts, mind, manas, words, vachana, and deeds, krama or karma. Thoughts, words and deeds in one single line expression. Shivananda Maharaj says, yoga is integration and harmony between thought, feeling and deed, or integration between head, heart and hand. If we look at Sri Ramachandraji's life, his life teaches us the unity of thought, word and deed. Throughout his life, he has been practicing perfect unity of thought, word and deed. Each thought is demonstrated through his decisions made from love and respect for his family and his bhaktas. During Rama's exile, his dedication to the promise he made to his father Dasharatha was the decision that he made, practicing unity of thought, word and deed. As Kaikeyi directed Rama to be banished in the forest to provide the throne for his son Bharata, Rama remained calm and was beyond delighted to obey his father's wish. Even in tough times, his devotion for his family, his reverence for his father, maintained a mindset composed of compassion and love. His response was his practice of words and his actions during his exile. When he was in the forest, even after knowing the death of his father, Sri Rama remained loyal to his promise and remained in the forest for 14 full years. The exile was one of his several moments of being a devotional son brother, husband, and God. Rama is an aspirational historical figure for all his devotees, and his way of life is creating a guide for being a role model in practicing unity within each individual's thoughts, words, and deeds. Swami says in his divine discourse delivered on 2nd October 1987, even an insect can cause harm. To do good is difficult. Anybody can do harm, but only few can do good. Unless you are good at heart, speak good words, and perform good deeds, how do you expect Sai to feel happy and bless you? If you are not good at heart, cannot speak good words, cannot do good acts, how do you expect God to give you boons? This is complete ignorance. If you want to be blessed by God, you must develop a good heart, speak good words, and must have a good conduct. When these qualities are there in you, you are bound to get divine blessings. Human birth is sacred. Unfortunately, many human beings' behavior is worse than that of animals. They only strive for materialistic possessions all along, and seldom they think of God. As you think, you become. Moving on, one of the names of Shri Hanumanji is Sankata Mochana, meaning one who relieves from difficulties of his bhakta. Tulasidas ji tells us to concentrate on the idol of God through this japai. We should worship God in two ways: inner and external. Inner practice, inner devotion means concentrating the mind in God. And Bahir Bhakti or external devotion means doing the work for the Lord, for whom there is love. When we keep incense, lamp, sandalwood and flowers, etc., it is a preparation for the stabilization of the mind. A kind of atmosphere is created in it. Prayers, recitations, etc. are also part of the preparation for meditation. So, there is a place for worship first, an environment first, and then worship subsequently. But most of the people take the false satisfaction of doing bhakti for whole life in a ritualistic manner, considering this external source which creates the environment as complete devotion. and they deprive themselves of true devotion. In order to concentrate on the idol, there is a need for the mind to be fluid. In order to move the mind, listening to the description of the qualities of Lord is necessary, and the mind has to be fixed in the glory of the Lord. For the practice of dhyana, because dhyana is an expression in this chopai, for the practice of meditation, one should inculcate the habit of solitude. Solitude means that state in which I am completely alone. Not even the past, not even the future, not even the present. One should not live in any of these three when they have to exist in a concentrated state, single pointed dhyana. In the practice of meditation, there should be focus of speech, body and mind towards a definite goal. That is why Tulsidas ji has written, get out of the trouble. By doing what? Mana krama bachana dhyana jola. People who are engrossed in God do not need to ask anything to God. Many people used to ask Tukaram Maharaj, God meets you every day, then why don't you tell God that your work, your business is not working? The state of mind of one who has become engrossed in God is different. He does not remember anything of his practical issues or difficulties at that time when he is one with God. In life, both the Antar Bhakti and Bahir Bhakti, both are complementary. That is why Tulsidas ji has urged to meditate through the mind, speech, and deeds. One cannot live without doing the work with love. As you continue to be immersed in godly thoughts, carrying all your required deeds, your love for God increases. And as the love for God increases, your introspection or your real dhyana starts. In our life, for say, we think that we should leave some habit for some reason, maybe a bad habit or whatever habit. We think we should leave that habit. In karma, in action, we continue with that habit. Whereas in vachana, in words, we try to convince others that we have already left that habit. See how contradictory are the three things. We are doing something, thinking we should leave that what we are doing, and speaking that we have already left. Contemplating intensely on Hanuman, on God, helps us to bring down this contradiction in thoughts, words, and action day by day, gradually. When our mind, our thoughts are engrossed on godly thoughts, our mind is engrossed on godly thoughts, immersed in God's glory, with single pointed devotion and love, then we will realize that in that state of our intense love for God, our speech, our actions have to come together because they cannot contradict each other in that state of mind where the mind is fixed on God. When we evolve to a state where our thoughts, words, deeds, mind, all are in harmony, then Sankata Mochana. How does Hanuman actually relieve us from all the Sankat? We have to understand, brothers and sisters, that the Sankat or our problems or our miseries may not leave us. We have to face them to clear our karmas. But we are relieved from channelizing our thoughts, our mind to our miseries, our sankat, because our mind, our heart, our thoughts, all are now immersed in the glory of Lord. So, Chudave here is in the context of releasing us from thoughts on all problems, all miseries. The sage from Ananda Kutil writes, when you begin to sweep a room that was kept closed for 6 months, various kinds of dirt come out from the corners of the room. Similarly, during meditation, various kinds of impurities float about on the surface of the mind. Bravely remove them one by one by suitable methods and counter virtues with patience and continuous efforts. The old vicious samskaras, revenge when you try to suppress them, do not be afraid. They will lose their strength after some time. You have to tame the mind just as you tame a wild elephant or a tiger. Do not indulge in vicious thoughts which serve as food for the mind. Make the mind antarmukha, self-introspective. Substitute good, virtuous, sublime thoughts. Feed the mind with aspirations and ideals. Old vicious samskaras will be gradually thinned and eventually obliterated. Now the Brahmakara Vritti will dawn. Coupled with Brahmajnana, this is the destroyer of avidya. This Brahmakara Vidya Vritti, or the one single nididhyasana on Brahman, allow this to flow steadily like Thailadhara, continuous flow of oil. Now, infinite bliss, Niratisya Ananda will flow. At this state, the whole universe will appear as Satchitananda. This thought will also die. You will then enter the Nirvikalpa Samadhi or Sahaja Samadhi. In this way, the Jiva who has been thinking of his misery, Sankata, he moves from that state of feeling the pain of all his Sankat, all his miseries, to the stage of experiencing infinite bliss, Ananda, Brahma Ananda. The Sankat stay where they are, but the one who was troubled by that Sankat, he exists no more. This is the power of prayers. This is the power of approaching dhyana, meditation with unity of thought, word and deed. Where the jiva cannot get time or thought anymore to feel the pain of all his sankat. It is this way, it is in this subtle way that Sankat te Hanuman chudave, man krama bachana dhyana jolave. He relieves us from difficulties. He pulls our heart, our mind, chudave. He pulls our heart, our mind from all our miseries, all our tensions, and he pulls us to himself to grant us supreme Ananda. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Bolo Hanuman Ji ki, Jai Sai Ram, Hari Om Tat Sat.